Hello everyone, is everyone there? Just gonna wait for the rest of the people to show up. Still pretty early. So I can see there a friend of mine, Sanjay is there, is here. Apple Tree Lee, hi. Thanks for tuning in. So this is gonna be a virtual mentoring session. So I'm here to help you guys with any kind of business problems, especially online or tech problem that you might have. I see Chong is here. Thank you to be here, guys. Really appreciate it. This is my first time doing this. I'm in Seoul right now, Korea. And I know that some of my... Alright. We have a friend from Sri Lanka, Dulara. So thanks for watching in, guys. And you know, I have a few mentees in Malaysia and overseas that have been asking me a lot of questions. So I just thought maybe I just have this online session with everyone, so that I could really help you guys across the world instead of just being one-to-one. I know it's difficult to be online at the same time, so I really appreciate you guys to be online right now. And Apple Tree is from KL. Hi, I was in KL for many years. That's where I know Sanjay. And I ran my business in KL for like 10 years. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, you can go to, let me just turn on this Chrome. You can go to my Wikipedia page. So you can know a little bit about my background. I was born in Sarawak. I'm a Sarawakian. Sarawak is a state in Malaysia. So I started my company called Just Mobile in around 2005, 2006. So we started as a SMS company. So at that time we have a lot of SMS services. So what we do is we do SMS services like, you know, ringtones, downloads, SMS alerts, you know, all those kind of stuff. And I actually ran a company from a little room by myself in Bandar Utama in KL. So I ran it for a few years from a room alone. So from there, eventually I grew my company. Well, we were profitable the first year. In fact, well, I was profitable, I guess. I only used about 13,000 ringgit to start. That's about $4,000. And from there we grew and grew, and eventually we expanded to fantasy sports. So as you can see here, fantasy sports, FanXT. So this is a company or kind of a brand I started doing fantasy sports around the world. So then we ran and we did a lot of projects with a lot of people doing fantasy sports games, and also we went on to sign like quite a few partnerships with a lot of football leagues or soccer leagues around the world. That's about, I think about at least 5-6 soccer leagues around the world, from Finland to Indonesia to Philippines to Hong Kong. And in 2006, the company was acquired by an American-Japanese company. So I sold the entire company, moved to Silicon Beach in LA, not Silicon Valley. So Silicon Valley is a valley. So Silicon Beach is the beach. So where you have all the nice beaches in the US, that's on the West Coast, which is LA, Los Angeles. So I was there for a year, and then after that I left. So I kind of like trying to do my next startup. Not sure what I really wanted to do. Tried one startup in LA called Coach. So Coach is an online learning startup. So what we do is we provide online courses to teach people how to play sports. But the thing is, this startup, you know, the powerhouse, the sports powerhouse in the world is the US, or at least the Europe, right? In Europe. So when I moved back to Malaysia and I moved to Korea, you know, these two countries are not really the sporting powerhouse. So they don't really have a lot of coaches who could produce a lot of sports e-learning content, which is why this website is still around, but I'm not really actively running it anymore, because since I left the US, I couldn't be in touch with a lot of coaches, or at least high quality coaches from there to produce all this sports content here, sports e-learning content here. So then that's what I was thinking, like, what should I do next, right? So, you know, probably I'll be starting out a new startup, etc. So what I'm doing right now is, I'm very much into giving back to the startup community. So I like to, yeah, Sanjay, Domino's Fantasy Sports. Domino's was one of our clients that we were working with. Domino's Pizza. We ran a campaign with them for Fantasy Sports. That's about a few years back. We were doing that time when I was starting up. So the thing is, so now I'm trying to give back to the community. I was in Sri Lanka for entrepreneurship program, and it was pretty successful. I met a few startups there, and I'm here to just give back and teach whatever I've learned as an entrepreneur for like 14 years. I'm trying to give it back to the community, trying to help others entrepreneurs so that they don't have to repeat the same kind of mistakes that I did when I was an entrepreneur. So one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because of that. So, and also, this is the first time that I'm really doing this. And also, this is more like my MVP, to be honest. It's like my minimum viable product or minimum viable attempt, I would say, to see if this would work. I mean, an online mentoring session with me against the rest of the world with all the questions, if I could get them. And, you know, I love to have your comments after this. Guys, you think this doesn't work, let me know. Let me know why it doesn't work. If it works, tell me if it works, how I could further improve this. Or do you prefer a one-to-one session? Well, one-to-one session is a bit hard for me to do because there are thousands of entrepreneurs around the world that I need to help. So that's why I was thinking, like, if you guys could pause the questions first, I could probably analyze your questions, ask you more detail for the questions, and then I will give you a more concrete answer. So that was the idea. So you pre-post your questions. I have time to look into your questions. I have time to think about your questions. Then I could reply you with a very solid answer. So nonetheless, I received quite a few questions. And again, feel free to add more questions here if you want on the chat here. Okay, I'll answer them as much as I could. We're gonna have at least like 3 hours right now, unless people are checking out, people are leaving from this online mentoring program session. So if you have more questions, go ahead and ask me directly on the chat. All right, so let's go ahead and look at a few questions that I received. So now I'm gonna switch to, okay, this is my first time running this, so please bear with me if there's any issues or technical problems whatsoever. So I'm gonna go to the first question here. All right, so I have a friend from US. Well, he prefers to be anonymous. Not from the US, I'm sorry, from Sri Lanka. He runs a tea business. Okay, so he runs a tea business in Sri Lanka. And let me just pull out that PowerPoint I did for him. So let's just go to that question. Okay, here. So he's running a tea business selling Ceylon tea. Is that how you pronounce it? Ceylon tea? Well, Ceylon tea is basically Sri Lankan tea. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ceylon is the previous name for Sri Lanka. So the founder has excellent background in the tea business and worked for like Unilever in Sri Lanka. And you know that Unilever is the creator of Lipton, well, probably the world's most famous tea brand. So he's trying to target the B2C market by directly selling it to the consumers, bypassing the retailers and etc. And his model is like he's trying to use the Dollar Shave Club model. Now, I would like to share a little bit about the Dollar Shave Club model here. Okay, And I'm gonna switch to my Chrome. This is the Dollar Shave Club website. Okay, what they do is they sell razor blades and razors in a subscription-based model. Okay, so what you do is you pay a subscription like $5 a month. You get all this sent to you every month. Okay, man, you have to shave like almost like every day, right? So this is like the subscription model for you to ensure that you have enough razor blades to shave every month. As you know that the model, well, the Gillette model that we have now is like Gillette sells the razor for a lot cheaper than the razor blades. So you can buy the razor for like $5, but when you want to buy the razor blades, it costs you like almost double or triple more. So that's the business model. You get the razor has to work with certain razor blades, and you have to go down and buy the razor blades. And those razor blades are really, really freaking expensive. Okay, so this guy, the Dollar Shave Club founder, had this problem because obviously he's a guy. He saw that this is a problem that he wants to solve, and the buying experience of these razor blades at those hypermarkets or Walmarts or Ralph's, it's very, well, the experience is really poor. You know, all those razor blades are locked into those, you know, little device, security device, or in those shelves that you have to call them to open up the shelf only for that you could actually take out those razor blades from the shelves and purchase it. So it's a very tedious buying experience, and again, it's expensive. So he came up with this idea of having you subscribe to a monthly delivery of razor blades and razor to your doorstep. It's very much an e-commerce based business, and he's doing incredibly well. I think he just got acquired by Gillette for what, hundreds of millions of dollars, things like that. And I'm not sure about the background of what his company is doing now, but what I know is it started in a very successful way, and it has a very, very hilarious viral marketing video on YouTube. It's a very viral YouTube video. Right, so it seems like maybe okay. I'm just gonna switch back to this slide here. So it seems like this person here, or he prefer to be anonymous. He wants to use the Dollar Shave Club model, and he has a competitor who's already doing that, T-Box. So T-Box does online ordering for tea, and they receive like VC investments already in the US. So the question that I always want to ask is like, what makes the tea so special? I mean, putting aside the marketing or the business model you have behind it, you know, I'm a tea drinker. I love tea. I drink tea like almost every day. I drink coffee as well, but I'm very selective about what kind of tea I like. I don't drink green tea. I only drink black tea, and not just any black tea. It's certain blend of black tea. So again, I believe that you're trying to target a niche market, a certain people who love a certain kind of tea, not just the general population. Because if the general population, you can always go and buy a Lipton or just to buy any ordinary tea. So again, what makes a tea so special, and how is your tea different than the rest of Lipton? Is that a unique blend, etc.? Now, if you look at T-Box, their business model is that what is special about the tea is that they made it fresh. So you immediately receive the tea within like a week after they harvest it. The typical tea that we have in the market is probably 24 weeks, 12 to 24 weeks old. From the field, from the farm, I'd say, to all the way to the retail stores. It takes like 12 weeks. But with T-Box, you get it directly off the farm. Within a week, they'll deliver it to you. So if you want the freshest tea in the world, you go for tea box. And of course, for that freshness, you have to pay a premium price for it. So that's their specialty. You get the freshest tea in the world, direct from the farm in India. All right. So the thing is, the question I'm asking you now is like, what makes your tea so special? Is it the freshest? Is it the most the unique taste, the strongest, etc.? That's one. And then how are you different than the rest of the other typical tea like Lipton, Earl Grey, etc. And where are you shipping from? Are you shipping from the US or Sri Lanka? The thing is, when you're doing e-commerce business, shipping, the fulfillment process is the one that probably could cost a lot of money for you to ship. But the good thing is that tea is not that expensive, right? So you probably would not have a problem in the shipping area for this tea. So here are my thoughts about your business. Your question was, how should I penetrate the US market with my subscription-based tea business? So to be honest, I don't think Dollar Shave Club model would work for you. Just excuse me here. I'm just gonna make sure that you guys can see what I'm seeing here. All right. So sorry. I just need to go back a little bit here. All right. So I'm just gonna show you all here. All right. So the Dollar Shave Club model may not work because you have to understand why the Dollar Shave Club model actually works. Because razor blades are just too expensive in the market. They are making it cheap by doing a subscription model. So you pay $5. It started as $1. In fact, you pay $5 a month. You get a supply of razor blades and razor every month. So currently the market for tea is already relatively not expensive. So tea is not an expensive product to buy. So how are you gonna persuade or entice people to subscribe to you to have their tea sent to their doorstep every month? I'm not saying they won't, because people like me probably would. But the thing is, like, why would they buy your tea directly from you every month instead of going to the shop and buy it? Is your tea a lot more cheaper? Is it more special than the rest of the people? It has to be some kind of reason, a very strong very strong reason for them to want to do that. Probably you have to find your product market fit for this. If you have a very strong product market fit, chances are whatever models you have, it will work. So I'm not really certain if you should follow the Dollar Shave Club model. I'm really not sure, because from what I see, I don't see the sense of using that model. Perhaps you want to try other model. All right. And of course, you should go for the niche market. I mean, we can get tea from everywhere, right? I can get tea on eBay, on Amazon, everywhere. I can get it from the shops. So you may have certain kind of a tea blend that's unique to you, or which you could offer it to anyone else. So instead of just going directly to the US market and flying there and open a shop there or an office there, which is quite expensive, as you know, it's all in US dollars, try selling on Amazon or eBay from Sri Lanka. See how's the feedback, how's the response like. And then how you should do is you should offer free samples for customers, but they pay for the shipping. Because you see, people have to try the tea first. That's the first thing. When you sell food, people always give free samples. Everywhere you go, people give you some free samples of food, free bread, free hot dog, free sausages, whatever. You go to Walmart, you go to supermarkets, they always give free samples because they want to know if you like it. If you like it, you'll buy it. So the only way to make people want to buy your product is to give free samples. And the thing is, they may not want to pay for it, right? So you have to give them free samples first, but they have to pay for the shipping. The good thing about tea is that it's light. It's not too expensive to ship. I mean, I'm just assuming because shipping is always related to the weight of the product, right? So if you could pack a few samples in a very in a very light way that you could ship them for a very low cost, customers may want to try it out. Imagine listing your product on Amazon or eBay. Perhaps you will not be able to put free. You can put like 0.001. It's like 1 cent or $1 or 50 cents for like at least like 6 or 12, a dozen of tea bags, perhaps. So this will get people to want to buy. To want to sample your tea. Then, when you send them that package or that samples at discount vouchers or any promotion, that will lead to your website. So I'm assuming that you're gonna sell it through websites, right? Because you told me about Tea Box and Dollar Shave Club. So you need to bring traffic back to your website. So you say that if they like your sample, come to my website, I'll give you a discount to buy more or to subscribe more to this monthly supply of tea. And do remember that Tea Box is, correct me if I'm wrong, most of the customers are buying a one-off model, not a subscription model. They do have a subscription model where you can subscribe to their tea supplies, but most of the customers are actually buying a one-off, just like online ordering. It's not subscription model. So I'm not sure if people are ready to subscribe to a monthly supply of tea. But what you should try now is to get them to try your tea first and entice them by discount vouchers and promotions in that sample packet. All right. Of course, you can always incentivize them to follow you on social media, etc. And you were asking about how can I make this viral? How can I do a very viral promotion marketing campaign in the US? Well, do remember that if anyone or if everyone could do a very effective viral marketing, everyone would have done it. So doing a very effective viral marketing is very difficult. You know, I mean, look at Gangnam Style, probably the most viral YouTube videos in the music scene for the past how many years, and you don't see many people able to replicate what they did. So it takes a while to come up with a very cool viral video that will make people want to watch and spread it around. Okay, so perhaps you want to try other ways. I believe you may saw the Dollar Shave Club's video and you want to replicate it. So all I'm saying is that perhaps you want to find other marketing method, more sensible marketing method, or more achievable marketing methods that may more work for you. And again, you need to find your tea's unique value proposition. Again, what's so special about your tea? What makes it nice? What makes it different than the rest? Okay, so I hope I answered your question, but again, feel free to add more questions here. Okay, it's still loading. So are you guys seeing this? I'm streaming at a rate of 6 megabytes bitrate, 6 megabits per second, I believe, bitrate. So I hope you don't see much of a problem here in this streaming. So, all right. So if you guys have any more questions, go ahead and post it on this top chat. If you don't, I'll just gonna go to the next question. Let's go ahead, look at the next question. All right, so question came along, this was the first question, in fact, from Kim in KL, Kuala Lumpur. So let me just turn this back on. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out how this works. Okay. All right. So the question here is, let me just. So again, this is my first time doing this, so please bear with me for all this technical difficulties. So the question is, how good, any good investment for retirement at the age of 55? Yes, there are a few. Assuming that when you reach the age of 55, you still want to do something. It's not like you're just gonna sit at home, go traveling every day and not work, right? Because that'll be pretty boring, and there's no way that someone could just sit at home and watch TV all their life until they die. So I'm assuming that at the age of 55, you still are willing to do some kind of, very light work, not too hectic, not too stressful. So one suggestion that I have is to try real estate investment. Now, what I'm trying to say real estate investment is, I'm assuming that by the time you reach the age of 55, you will have at least understand what real estate investment is all about, because it's pretty straightforward. Second, you will have a property. You have your own home. You have a house, okay? And your friends have their houses too. So you are among a group of friends at which everyone generally has a property. So what you can do is you can make a return from renting out properties. How is it's as simple as you own a property, instead of selling off, you rent it to someone and they pay you the rent every month. Again, you may say that, okay, I'm gonna need a lot of properties, and then I'm gonna need a lot of apartments, houses to do that, and I don't have money to buy all those things. Well, this is a thing called other people's money. So by using other people's money or other people's properties or credits, it's not necessarily other people's money here. You can use other people's properties or credits to buy or let properties. Say, for example, by the age of 55, your kids may be doing pretty well, and they don't have time to manage their investment, right? And you're retiring, you're so free, you got nothing to do. You said, okay, son, daughter, why don't I manage your financial for once, for your investment plan? I will use you help them. You use their credit to actually buy properties. So on their behalf, they will have hopefully pretty good credit score for them to get loans from the banks. You will decide what property to buy. You use their money to buy it. You help them to rent it out. From that rental, you can actually share with your kids. So it's like getting your kids or your friends, or using your kids or your friends' credits to loan money from the banks to buy properties. With that money you have, you buy the properties, you rent it out, and you take a percentage of the revenue from the rentals. If you have friends who already have a lot of properties, manage it for them. Manage the rent, the tenants for them. I mean, you can say that managing tenants is a simple thing to do. To be honest, that's absolutely not true. If you have one property, it's fine. When you have like 3 or 4 properties, it's very difficult to manage tenants. Believe me, I was managing tenants before. It's not that easy. Well, it's not that hard as well, you see. So you just have to ensure that every month they pay their rent. If there's any problem with the properties, you just have to go and fix it. It's not a difficult work to do when you're at the age of 55. So from there, you can actually find a source of income, which you don't really have to work every day. You probably have to work once a month to collect rent. And this is where you collect the management fee. So if it's not your property, you take a percentage of that rental as your fee. So if you could accumulate this across many people or many properties, you can make a pretty decent living doing this. And I actually seen a lot of people doing this, in fact. Or people doing it individually, they own a lot of properties and they rent these properties out. What kind of properties or where should you buy? Focus on hot rental areas. Areas where you have a lot of students which need to rent rooms or apartments or houses. Areas around central business district, CBD. If you have a CBD around your neighborhood or around your city, CBD is like central business district where there are a lot of people working in that area. So people, when they work, like to stay somewhere near. So they will probably come from far away to that area to work because of their job, and they need to rent a place around that area so that it's convenient enough for them to travel to work. So buy properties around those kind of areas and rent them out. Okay, around universities, around colleges, where there are a lot of people who need to rent rooms and apartments and houses. Of course, apartments and condominiums are easier to let than houses. Houses are usually is bigger, unless you can split them up into different rooms and you rent out those little rooms. So instead of renting out the entire house, you actually rent out each and every rooms. Okay, so this is one of the probably the easiest retirement investment plan, I would say, for someone at the age of 55. If you're trying to do this, as you know, property is a very secure market. The price generally appreciate. It may take a while, but as long as you have enough income from the rent, it should be a good retirement plan by the time you reach the age of 55. Okay, last option is you can even be an Airbnb host. Okay, Airbnb hosting, which means like you have a property, you rent it out on a daily basis or monthly basis to strangers. Everybody knows Airbnb. Airbnb works. I've seen people doing it very, very well. I know that certain tourist areas, like which you have a lot of tourists coming, people will rent entire property from someone else, and then they rent out those little rooms, or they rent out the rooms, or they rent out the entire property, the entire apartment on Airbnb. So people come and go on a daily basis, perhaps, but they just have to pay the rent to the landlord on a monthly basis. So you make the margin. That's how it works. I've seen people doing this, and it really works, especially in those hot tourist areas. So remember, Airbnb could be an option, but again, it depends on where you are located. Okay, now let's just go back here to the chat. Okay, Sanjay is asking, may I ask what are your favorite startup, please, with a good business model? I'm not sure that if there's a favorite startup. I've seen people doing business in all sorts of industries. If it really depends on what kind of knowledge you have. Now, I want to share with you guys one thought that I always told my mentees or people that I'm mentoring. People always say that do what you like, all right? But in fact, if you do what you like, but you're not good at doing what you like, chances are you're not going to be good at it. So instead of trying to do something that you like, do something that you're good at. All right. What do you call this? That guy's name, Mark Cuban, echoes this idea. Well, he said that he loves sports. I love sports too, but we were never good in sports. I wanted to be an Olympic champion, or at least I want to be an Olympian when I was young. I'm not good in sports. I wasn't built or wasn't born with that good kind of genes to be a good sportsman. or to be a good athlete. Anyway, I started too late as an athlete. So I could always try to be to reach my Olympic dream, but definitely I will fail. So what I'm good at is probably I'm good in business. I'm good in IT. So I ended up doing fantasy sports. It's still sports. It's still something that I like to do, but I'm more good at doing that than to do the real sports. Hence, I created fantasy sports. So that was my model, Sanjay. That was my model. I did it because I love technology. I love business. I couldn't be a sport person. Couldn't be an athlete. I ended up being a sports business person, I guess. All right. So look at what you're good at. Look at what your skills. What kind of skills that you have. What experience that you have. If you're from the banking industry, fintech is hot right now. Probably you want to go into fintech. Startups like Lending Club is doing so well. There's so many fintech startups nowadays. If you're good in that, if you're from the insurance industry, in Malaysia at least, correct me if I'm wrong. In Malaysia, the government is deregulating the insurance industry. So that means that the market is going to be more flexible for anyone to enter, and I'm sure because of that you can do a lot with that, a lot in the market, new ideas, new startup, new services, price comparison website, credit card comparison website, like you've been seeing in Southeast Asia, websites like iMoney, Ringgit Plus. You could do one for insurance as well if you're in the insurance business. Media, you can look at new media if you're into media business. What is the next big media going on? YouTube probably coming out with effective YouTube viral videos, for instance. Okay, Dulara, he's asking when is live stream starting. We just have started right now. Let me just reply him. We are streaming. Okay, so again, there's no favorite startup. I guess for anyone, as long as you have the skill to do a certain kind of startup, you try to think of ideas, try to think of problems that you can solve in areas that you are familiar with. Okay, and all right. Okay, so one hot area I can tell you guys is, of course, blockchain, cryptocurrency. Everybody's crazy about that right now. I mean, there are some negative views, there are some positive views about it. A lot of people thought that cryptocurrency will go bust, will die, just like that tulip fever in the in the 19th century in Netherlands. But I haven't seen that happening. Bitcoin is still around. People are still trading Bitcoin. People are still transacting on Bitcoins. I'm a cryptocurrency investor. All right, that's a disclaimer. So I'm not saying you should be going directly into this business because it's a very complicated industry. It's a very technical industry to be in. So you have to be careful about it. If you're not familiar, if you're not such a techie guy, if you're not familiar with the software or IT business, it may be quite difficult for you to enter. But you can always find co-founders, partners who could help you in that aspect. So this is one company in Korea right now that I'm assisting them into launching their ICO, which is ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering. Which reminds me, okay, now before I go into cryptocurrency, this question here is from Sweet Nightmare 24. Is dropshipping effective? Well, dropshipping, for me, dropshipping can be effective if you know how to do it. Okay, again, the thing is that you need to ensure that you have good products that you're selling, and you have a very good fulfillment support. So as long as you can deliver the products on time, you can deliver good products, I'm sure dropshipping can be effective. To be honest, I had never done dropshipping before. I almost did it previously, but then that was many years ago. So if you can elaborate more clearly, like what you mean by dropshipping or what you want to do with dropshipping, what dropshipping program you want to join, perhaps I could tell you more. Okay. Now, let's go to the next question I have here. I think this is I got this question from Derek from Hong Kong. He's asking, should I invest in cryptocurrency or ICO? Now, I guess everybody's asking that. For those who have not invested in cryptocurrency or any ICO, I think this is good for you to know as well. So, should you or should you not? First, you need to understand how cryptocurrency or blockchain or ICO works. Okay, if you try to read a lot about cryptocurrency and blockchain, you find that it's very technical. I find them very technical as well, because my background is from IT as well. I did my own programming. From a programmer or ex-programmer's point of view, it's pretty technical. So you may need to spend some time to understand how it works before starting to invest in it. Okay, so you should treat cryptocurrency or ICO investments as any other investments, such as real estate, stocks, unit trusts, business, and etc. What I mean by treating them like any other investments, I'm saying that you need to really do your homework. I mean, if you treat them, if you just want to press your luck and you just hope that if I would just throw this bunch of money in, or this bunch of seeds into the ground and hope the tree will grow by itself and eventually reap the fruits from that tree, you're probably not going to make a lot of money from there, because investments are not that straightforward. You really have to nurture an investment. You really have to work on it, study it, put effort in it. Okay. Same goes to real estate, stocks, unit trusts, investing in businesses, and of course, cryptocurrency and blockchain, right? Find out as much information as you can about them. Don't just throw your money, hope for the best, hope for a return. That's not very sound way. That's not a very sound way to venture into an investment. Okay. Now, you also need to know how much effort you want to commit into it. Okay, because it's going to take you a while to really understand how cryptocurrency, blockchain, and ICO works. Now, ICO, for instance, it stands for initial coin offering. What's ICO? What's initial coin offering? So IPO, public offering, initial public offering, where you get to buy stocks of companies who's going listing in the public stock market. So ICO is the same. It's just that you're not gonna be on those NASDAQ and all those popular stock markets. You're just gonna be investing into new companies, new startup companies who have ideas especially on cryptocurrency or blockchain. It's just like a crowdfunding platform, like what's that name? Kickstarter and Indiegogo is another crowdfunding approach to raise money for a company. Okay, so if you have money, if you have an idea, you want to find investors, you find investors, and it's very difficult for investors to want to fund you, because if your business fails, that's it, right? But ICO allows the money that's invested into your company to be more liquid. What do I mean by that? Okay, when I invest into your company by buying your coins, let's say it's coins, but actually they're called tokens. The money that you put into the company, in exchange, you will get their tokens or their coins. And with these coins, you can actually trade them. You can actually trade them on cryptocurrency exchanges. Exchanges are like websites where you can buy and sell thousands or perhaps hundreds of cryptocurrencies. You know, those famous ones like Coinbase, you have Luna, I think in Malaysia, you have Bitstamp, you have Upbit in Korea, you have Sax. I use saxcx.io to trade cryptocurrency. So instead of putting in my money into a company and waiting for my return, I give them the money, which, well, that's why they need the money in the first place. In return, they give me the tokens, and then I can trade the tokens, or I can sell those tokens hopefully with a more appreciated price. So as long as there's a value in the token, I can trade it for back to money, back to US dollars, back to fiat currencies. So that's the idea why people are trying to raise ICOs, or startups are trying to raise ICOs. Well, there are a lot of dubious and fraudulent ICOs out there. Over half of ICOs were not successful. So you really have to watch out for that, okay, on what companies that you should invest, or what ICOs you should participate in. So the first thing that you need to do before you invest into an ICO is to know the management team. Check out who they are, what can they do, what are their experience in cryptocurrency, blockchain, or whatever business they're trying to do. Okay, that's very important. You ask any investors in Silicon Valley, you ask them like, which one is more important, the idea or the management team? I believe all of them will tell you the management team is more important than the idea, than the product. Because you know why? If the product fails, the management team, if you have a very solid management team, they will be smart enough to pivot, to change the business model, to change the product to something else. If you just focus on the idea, if the idea fails, that's it. Because there goes your money. Which is why it's very important for you to invest in the people first. Then you invest in the product. Then the product comes in later. Okay, does the product really need blockchain, or must it be decentralized? That's a question that you want to ask before you participate in an ICO. Reason why is because there are a lot of startups out there, a lot of people with a lot of crazy ideas who are trying to ride on this blockchain and cryptocurrency heat wave, like they think they can make some kind of money out of it. So everybody is trying to come up with all sorts of crazy, dubious ideas, that they have this idea to do a blockchain for things that you don't need blockchain, things that you don't need to be decentralized, which is why a lot of those ICOs failed. All those good ICOs, or ICOs that did really well, are usually backed up by very solid management team, or by very solid products. For example, there was a Telegram ICO that just happened like I think a few months ago. It was doing really well. This one ICO by Hyundai, I think Hyundai's Hyundai subsidiary. They raised a hell lot of money, hundreds of millions, correct me if I'm wrong. And they're doing things that really make sense. They are making use of the power of blockchain. So you really have to find out if the product really need to use blockchain and really need to be decentralized, not centralized. Like, if being centralized and decentralized, if you're not aware of what are these two terms. Centralized is like you have Facebook. Facebook is controlled by a single company, which is Facebook. So that's centralized. A bank. All your money is centralized to a bank. Currency. All your money is centralized to the country, the central bank of that country. This is kind of centralized network systems that we know. Decentralized means there's no central company or entity or organization that is or that is watching over the product. Okay. The problem with centralization is that whoever is on top, or whoever is inside the central company running the product, they can do whatever they want. If one day Facebook decided to charge every one of us $1 a year to use Facebook, Can they do that? Yes, they can, because they have the centralized power to do that. Of course, a lot of people will drop out from Facebook, but those people who really need Facebook, at least those who need to use it to keep in touch with their friends or to do business, well, some of them may pay, some of them may not. But the thing is, Facebook could do that. Google could do that. WhatsApp could do that. Any centralized system or organization managing a single product could do whatever they want. So that's the risk. So recently, Facebook is on the hot seat because of the violation of the use of the customers' data. That's kind of problem that people in Facebook could do with our data. So if you do not want all that to happen, we need a decentralized system where there's no single entity running the system or running the product. You have something like Bitcoin. There's nobody in the world that say that they have the power to decide how Bitcoin would work. So it's controlled by the community of miners, I would say, of groups of people, which they come to a consensus of what they should do with Bitcoin. That's called decentralized system. So no one has the final say of what they want. But again, decentralized system has its disadvantages too. Now, you have Bitcoin and you have Bitcoin Cash. Why you have a Bitcoin Cash? Because because Bitcoin is a decentralized system. No one has one final say about what you could or could not do with Bitcoin. So a group of people decided to change Bitcoin to make transactions faster, to add this thing called SegWit. It's just a kind of like protocol or algorithm or whatever to change how each block stores data. So the other group of people within the Bitcoin community decided against that. So since you have two parties here couldn't agree on the same idea, they split. Hence, you have Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash. So that's a problem with decentralization. No one actually has a final say about what they should do or what they should not do. It's not like you have Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg having a final call about what the company should build or what should not build, what features they should have. So that's the other part of decentralization that may not be so good for the blockchain economy, I guess. But again, back to ICO, make sure that if you invest into ICO, make sure that the product really needs blockchain or that it needs to be decentralized. And again, when you're investing into ICO, you're actually exchanging your money or usually your Bitcoin or your Ethereum coin into their tokens. So you give them your cryptocurrency, in exchange they give you their tokens. Their tokens are not coins per se. Their tokens are like a digital asset. So anyone could create their own token. Any startup that's creating a product on blockchain, usually they say that, oh, I need to create my own token. Why? Because from that money that you give them, when you buy the token, the money that they receive from you will be used to build their software, to build their business. Remember, ICO is more like crowdfunding system, a crowdfunding model. So you get all these tokens from them. Say, for example, I can say it's MELVIN's token. So I created my own token. I have this idea to do this product about blockchain or whatever it is. And behind the scene is me. I'm the one guy running behind the scene. So you invest into my ICO, then you receive, let's say, 1,000 units of my MELVIN's token. Next, how are you going to make money from this token? You either can use it. If the token is a utility token, which means that you could use this token in my software or in my product to buy tickets, to buy e-commerce, or to do whatever kind of service that I provide, or you could sell it. Sell it on the exchanges. So what happens is usually after an ICO, a few months after an ICO, they will list the token on those popular trading or currency trading, cryptocurrency trading websites where you could dump your token there. I mean, not dump, sell your tokens there for other tokens or for cash. That's the way you can cash out your tokens. So a lot of companies, or not a lot of companies, some individuals or some companies actually participate in a lot of ICOs because they just buy the tokens and sell, buy and sell. So hopefully the price of the token will appreciate when they're selling it. So they're just in this business of buying and selling tokens from multiples of ICOs. You can do the same as well. So make sure that in the white paper, usually when you invest into an ICO, there's a white paper. Read the white paper properly, find out when's the time they're gonna be listed on any exchanges. Okay, and make sure it happens. If it doesn't happen, then you're stuck with these tokens and you probably have to find a way to sell it off, right? So last but not least, remember that when you invest into cryptocurrency or ICO, or even if you invest in any sort of investments, invest like you could afford to lose the money. Okay, never ever throw all your life savings into an investment. And people always say that you should diversify your investment. It is true. You can buy stocks, real estate, invest into your wife's or your spouse's business, unit trusts. And you can also invest into cryptocurrency. But just remember that invest the money like you could afford to lose the money. All right. So let's talk about more about cryptocurrency. Like these are the 5 common myths that people generally have about cryptocurrency. Every cryptocurrency or bracket coin is the same. So this is the first myth that I always see people believe in. Okay, not all coins are the same. Okay, they are different. They're meant to be used differently. Bitcoin is meant to be a virtual currency, a virtual money. Ethereum or Ether is not meant to be a currency. Ethereum coin, or say Ether, official name is Ether, is meant to power the Ethereum network. So when you have a network that's decentralized, you don't have people paying the bills, the electricity bills, the expenses to run the network. Someone has to pay for it. Who is that someone? People who uses their network. Okay, so you actually pay these people who runs the network with these Ether coins. So you buy those Ether coins, you want to run an application, a decentralized application on Ethereum, you have to pay some kind of money for this application to work. Or when you are transferring your Ethereum from someone to someone, you're using the network, right? There's no Google or a bank or Bank of America or Amazon behind the scene that's paying the bills to run the servers, right? So because it's decentralized, remember? So someone has to pay these people who are running those servers to run the servers, basically. So these coins are the ones where they earned. So you actually have to allocate a certain kind of gas, a fuel in fact, to power that transaction. So these coins, the coins on Ethereum, are actually the ones that's powering the network. It's not used as a medium of exchange for like a currency. It's meant to use to power the network for Ethereum. Again, there are other coins as well. If you look at Ripple, Ripple is also used as a medium of exchange to do a cross-border money transfer. So different currencies, different cryptocurrencies have different purposes. Okay, so they all are not the same. So if you invest into cryptocurrency, if you trade cryptocurrency, and you will go to those exchanges like Coinbase, like Kraken, like Sax.io, you always have a wallet on those websites. And people always assume that it is safe to store your wallet or your cryptocurrency wallet on those exchanges. So all your Bitcoin, Ethereum coin, etc. will be stored there, right? So the problem is it is actually not safe to store your wallet on, to store your coins in the wallets on those exchanges. Why? Is because if the website or if the exchange website, basically the server, got hacked, people could actually steal all those coins that you have in those wallets. So what you need to do is, once you've traded a huge, especially when you have a huge amount of coins in your wallet, move it out to a cold wallet, they call it. There's a hot wallet and a cold wallet. In this case, move it to a cold wallet. A cold wallet is like a wallet that you can store in your house, like in a safe deposit box that no one could actually touch. What's exactly a cold wallet, hot wallet? Probably I can explain to you that next time. But now just remember that if you ever try to invest or to trade cryptocurrency, the first few places that you will go are the exchanges, right? You exchange your US dollars, your Singapore dollars, your Ringgit Malaysia, whatever, to buy Bitcoins, Ethereum, Ripple, whatever. Then you will store all this Ethereum, Bitcoin, all your coins in the wallet on those exchanges. Now again, don't do that. Remove them down, move it to a cold wallet. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Blockchain and cryptocurrency are inseparable. This is not true. Blockchain is blockchain, cryptocurrency is cryptocurrency. They're perfect when they're together, but they can be separated as well. You don't really need blockchain to have cryptocurrency. All right. So blockchain is a technology. Cryptocurrency is cryptocurrency, a form of currency. So they can be separated. So you can have a blockchain system without having any currencies running it. For instance, you can have a blockchain system to run let me think of anything, to do voting. You want votes on things that you do not, where you want to record those votes, so that those votes cannot be changed. Is immutable, right? So blockchain is a system where its data is immutable, meaning that the data could never change. So you do not want people to go and, how do I say, hack or delete certain votes, or to change certain votes, especially in a country's election, which is very important. So you can build a voting system where it records all votes in an election without anyone that could tamper with the results. And if you have this kind of system, you don't really need currency to power the system. As long as it's a system that serves the purpose of immutability of votes, it's good enough. You don't need a cryptocurrency to run it. All right. Cryptocurrency and tokens are the same, right? We touch about this. Cryptocurrency like Bitcoins, Ethereums, those are cryptocurrencies. Tokens are like that. Let me think of tokens right now. The props. There are so many out there. Tokens. Those are different. Tokens are those digital assets that companies created to power or to fund their businesses. Cryptocurrencies are the currencies that power the network. Tokens are the one that sits on top of the network, like on Ethereum. Okay, so this can be very confusing, I know, but for now you just have to remember that cryptocurrency and tokens are not actually the same. They are different. But if you wanna think they're the same, it's okay, because they more or less work the same way. If you're an investor, you can invest into cryptocurrency or you can invest into tokens. Both ways, as long as you can make money out of them, which means that when you buy cheap, you sell high. Okay, so you make a margin from there. Cryptocurrency will go bust. A lot of people think that many months, or I say middle of last year. No, it has been around. It has still been around. It's enduring all those brutal media coverage, I guess. And you can see that people, especially industry experts, are changing their mind about cryptocurrency and changing their mind about Bitcoin. People who said that Bitcoin will go bust, Bitcoin will die, Bitcoin is BS or whatever, they're changing their mind about it, and more and more people are going in towards building something on cryptocurrency. Look at AirAsia by Tony Fernandez. AirAsia is going to come up with something on cryptocurrency to use cryptocurrency as loyalty points. You look at Xerox filing patent on blockchain or cryptocurrency. Bank of America. People, companies like Hyundai are venturing into cryptocurrency as well. I believe there are going to be more and more people who are going into cryptocurrencies business. Okay, so I don't think it will go bust. There are no reasons for it to go bust. Cryptocurrency is something I believe is for the future. All right. So these are the 5 myths that people generally have about cryptocurrency. So let's go back and let's look at other questions. Content and advertising industrial. It is suitable for decentralized? Yes, in fact, it is very suitable for a decentralized network. Say for instance, this just crossed my mind today. Content needs to be censored. Who control the power to censor content? If you say the content's on YouTube, yeah, YouTube has the power. What if we disagree about how they censored certain content on YouTube? What if you want to have a consensus of people who know content better than the rest? Why don't we have a decentralized content censorship platform where you can upload your content and the general consensus will decide what's the censorship for each content? Example, a very simple example. Okay, so there are a lot of ideas or platforms that we could think of that would where decentralization would work. I share about voting. That's one. We talk about what else. I'm sure there are a lot out there, but I just couldn't think of any others right now. Social network, for example. Social network. Social network has content. We post our content, our photos, our text, our whatever on Facebook. But now Facebook is misusing those content. It's misusing those data. If we could have, which in fact are a lot of decentralized social network is already they're already in the market right now. I'm sure some of them will be launched soon. They're currently building on this decentralized social network. So when you have a decentralized social network, you don't have people like Mark Zuckerberg or Facebook who could really manipulate your data, selling your data to Cambridge Analytica, people like that. So decentralization is good for social network too. So I'm sure there are other ways we could use decentralized blockchain system to run a content-based network. I also have seen a lot of content network. This may not be decentralized. It works this way. It incentivizes people to create content on a network. That website is actually called props. It's a props, not website. That blockchain is actually called props. So let me just open up my Chrome. A decentralized mobile video ecosystem. This is the one that you could actually take a look. What it's trying to do is that you actually create content, video content on the website, on the network, and you actually get token for your work. So you actually get paid with tokens to create content on this network. So Prop is one of the many decentralized content network. I'm sure there are a lot more. So you could check out this website, Props Project. I think they're still building the website. I'm not sure whether it's they're still building the application. So they have a very good, solid team here. People who has been in this YouNow. YouNow is another mobile video app. So YouNow is the one powering or running Props. Okay. So YouNow is a centralized team, I guess, and they're running Props. Prop is probably decentralized. So people are trying to going between centralized and decentralized, like a hybrid. You know, so I'm not sure what's the power that YouNow has over Props, but they claim that they're building a decentralized mobile video network. So hopefully it will be really, really decentralized. I'm not sure about that. So we need to find out about what they're doing here. But they raised quite a lot of money in the ICO. Okay, so I hope that answers you socially affluences. So anyone else who has any question, please go ahead and ask. I'm pretty much said what I wanted to say in this mentoring session. So if you guys have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me right now. Oh, okay. I have one more question. I just received this question like half an hour before I started this YouTube live event. So it's a question from my friend in Korea. She said that our junior dentist wants to develop an app that gives discount 10% or more for the patients who pay money in advance, like about 10,000 ringgit. That's about $2,000 to $3,000, and deduct charges from the deposit, and recruit dental clinics as members. So it is basically a broker app between patients and clinics. It needs a payment gateway, GPS-based clinic search function, and live chat function. Okay, so first, what is the problem of this idea? She asked. Well, the problem that I can see is this deposit here. It's like saying that I have to pay a huge upfront fee to be part of this app or part of this network in order for me to get dental treatments. So it says that you pay an upfront money and you get in this upfront fee gets deducted each time you go and visit, or you visit a dentist, or each time you receive a dental treatment. So it's quite a huge amount of money here you're asking someone to deposit into the app. First, number two, like, I'm not sure about you guys, but how often do you actually go to a dentist? Now, if I can remember the last time I went to one, that was like 5 years ago. So would I pay 10,000 ringgit or $3,000 upfront, hoping that in the next 2 to 3 or 5 years, I will go and use this app and use that money that I deposited 5 years ago for dental treatment? Well, if you ask me, I wouldn't do that, because I don't see any reasons why I should pay something upfront which I will only use in next 1 year or next 2-3 years, etc. Okay, and I just don't get this model here. Why are you asking patients to pay huge deposit, even though it's a small deposit? Unlike if you have something that I need constantly every month. For instance, if I'm a woman, I go to beauty clinics So I go to beauty center every month. I need to do like Botox injection. I want to do facial treatments every month, etc. For example, I wouldn't mind paying upfront deposit. But again, if I pay upfront deposit, I'm only getting 10% discount. So hopefully the discounts that I get by paying money upfront would be high. That will be a good reason for me to pay upfront deposit for this in order for me to get discounts later, right? Otherwise, I don't see any reason why I should pay upfront, especially if it's a huge amount of money for this service. Okay, that's the problem that I obviously see here. Second, how much should put in the budget if he advertises on Upwork? So Upwork is like a website where you can find or you can hire people to build applications or do all sorts of work for you, advertisement work, PR work, marketing work, etc. So you can find a lot of mobile app developers on Upwork. She's asking how much budget should she put for this app to get someone to build this app on Upwork. I would say minimum. You see, you need to have 4 apps. Okay, one app is for the customer. But that one app actually divides into 2. You have the iOS version and you have the Android version. So you have one customer app, which actually equals to 2, one iOS app and one Android app for the customer. Then you need to have the app for the dentist. So dentists also, some dentists have iOS, some have Android phones. You again need to build another 2 apps. So you have Android for a customer, iOS for customer, that's 2. Android for dentist, iOS for dentist, that's 4. 2 plus 2, 4. You need to have 4 apps built. Then you need to have a web interface or a web app for you to add new dentists, for you to add new clinics. Otherwise, it's difficult for you to add on the phone. You need to have a web interface for you to generate report, for example, for you to see transactions, for example, right? So you have 4 apps and you have one mobile app. Sorry, one web app. So generally, I think a fair value is about $2,000 to build an app on one platform, say for iOS. Generally, $2,000 is about more on the low side, not on the high side. Again, it depends. You have programmers from India or from developing countries like Vietnam, India. They probably could charge lower. You want developers from the more developed countries, they'll charge higher because their living cost is higher. So I would put around $2,000 per app. Remember, one app $2,000, so you have 4 apps of $2,000 times 4, $8,000. And then you need to have the web app as well. But again, if you could get someone to build all your apps or a team to build all your apps, probably they could charge you cheaper for that. But generally, I think $2,000 is fair. $2,000 is about 4,000 ringgit. 8,000 ringgit in Malaysia. So this is the question for Malaysia. So 8,000 ringgit for an app that you want, with the live chat, with the GPS, with the ability to book dentists, pay dentists, perhaps to review dentists as well. It's a very fair value. It may be a bit on the low side. Okay, so can I recommend any app developer? Yes, I can recommend you a few app developers. In fact, a lot from Malaysia. I actually know a few from the US, and also two from India. So I will definitely send you those contacts. 4th question. Can we ask the developer to use Payment Galaxy for online payment provider, although the developer is not Malaysian? Okay, Payment Galaxy is a Malaysian payment gateway. So the question is, can we use it? Yes, you can in your app. But the problem is Payment Gateway may only accept Ringgit Malaysian currency. Okay, so unless you are only targeting Malaysian dentists and customers, yes, you can use Payment Galaxy. you only transact in Malaysian ringgit. But if you want to go global, I would advise you not to. Easiest is probably you want to use PayPal, probably Stripe or PayPal. And if the developer is not Malaysian, can we still use Payment Galaxy? Yes, you can, because as long as they can access the Payment Galaxy's payment gateway from outside of Malaysia, they can build on Payment Galaxy. Not a problem. Now, here's the problem. If you're going to upload this app on Google Play and App Store, remember that Google Play App Store takes a revenue share of 30%, 30% from you for every transaction. Okay, for every transaction they take 30%. So if you're gonna ask them to pay like 10,000 ringgit, they're gonna take 30% of that 10,000 ringgit. That's a lot of money. So what you need to do is, correct me if I'm wrong, because previously we did a lot of mobile apps, you have to request from Google and from Apple that your apps actually are not transacting things that they should take such a huge revenue from. For example, you download apps that sells that sell tickets. You can still download them from Google App Store, Google Play, and also App Store, because they actually have an agreement from Google Play and Apple not to take 30% revenue share. Perhaps they'll take less, I'm not sure, but it is on a case-by-case basis. You have to seek permission or seek a different way for them to charge for every transaction. All I know is if you are building a game or anything that sells virtual items, you must use they will definitely take 30% from you. Virtual goods. If it's not virtual, if it's a ticket, if it's a service, they can actually be waived. So you don't have to pay 30% to Apple or to Google Play. Okay, so I hope I answered all your 4 questions. Oh, by the way, anyone who are asking questions who are not here right now, I will be sending this to you guys. Okay. Oops, I think I didn't turn that on. So okay, I have questions from Dolara. He had some technical problems. So could you answer my question on digital marketing channels, or did you answer that question already? Okay, yes, I did. So don't worry, Dolara. I'm gonna send you the recorded version of this session. So I'm gonna send it to you, and you can find those answers from that video. But anyway, if you have more questions, feel free to ask me again here, or any other questions that you might have. All right. So other than that, are there anyone else around and any questions to ask? Let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna just take a break for a while. I'll be back. If you have any questions, go ahead and type it on the live chat. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So again, guys, those who just tuned in, I'm doing this for the first time. I find it a bit weird talking to myself, right? Talking to my laptop. So please bear with me. Any comments? First thing I want to ask is that how do you find this online mentoring session? Any comments? Anything you find that's bad? Let me know. I like to hear those bad comments because that's when I can improve, right? We improve on our bad things. We improve on our cons. Okay, so if you have any comments you think I could further improve this, let me know. So I have one question from Sanjay here. Crowdfunding seems to be also popular now. How does this model work? Have you personally tried such services before? I have not really tried to raise. Well, I did once try to do a crowdfunding campaign that was on Indiegogo.com. I can show you the website now. Sorry, let me just open up my Chrome. Indiegogo. It's a global website to raise funds. And it was actually a non-profit campaign that was trying to do for the late Robin Williams. So Robin Williams is, I think everybody knows who Robin Williams is. He passed away. He committed suicide. He was probably the funniest guy in Hollywood then. So it was an idea to raise funds to donate to his favorite charities. Actually, well, I did it for just a few weeks, I believe, and I raised about $150 without any marketing. So I was surprised that I could raise $150 for that few weeks, I think. So the question about crowdfunding is, yes, it works. I've seen a lot of people raising funds for all sorts of reasons, for charity reasons, for product, for startup, anything. But remember that a lot of times when you're trying to run a crowdfunding campaign, you have to do a lot of marketing work. If you look around those really successful crowdfunding campaigns, they did a hell of a lot of marketing. They go on TV, they go on talk show, they go on media, they go on social channels. They do anything they can to do a really good, effective, compelling media campaign attract people to fund them. You know, they come up with really catchy or compelling YouTube videos, viral videos perhaps. That's very important. That's probably the most important thing that you can really try, or that you need to do when you're raising funds. Okay, so do remember that you need to do a lot of marketing for when you want to raise funds on crowdfunding platform. And of course, you need to have a good reason to raise funding from a crowdfunding platform. When you offer something that people could buy, you give me the money, I'll build a product for you, and then I'll ship that product for you. Usually people will fund this kind of ideas where they can see a tangible value for their money that they fund. Okay, so look at that areas. I'm not sure how well has crowdfunding worked for funding startups. I'm really not sure about that. I haven't really seen one. I've seen a lot of stories. I heard a lot of stories, in fact, about crowdfunding for startups, but I personally have not seen or really understand or seen, like, investigate one that has been really successful. I believe it may work for certain areas or certain industries, but again, I'm not really involved into it. Okay, right. So let's see if we have any other questions. Nope. So again, I have questions for you guys. Leave your comments. I don't care if it's good or bad. I don't care if it's bad, really. Just let me know whether this works for you guys. For you guys for me to share my input with you guys. Okay. Right. If you have any further questions from my answers, please ask. If you have more other questions, again, please ask. I am out of questions right now. No, I'm out of questions. I don't see anyone asking anymore. It's just more like an MVP, a trial, I would say, for me, to really try to see if this model will work, this online mentoring session will work. I know it's quite a pain for you to want to come online, to be online with me right now, although we are in different countries across the world. But again, if you find it's difficult to be online, this session will be recorded. All the answers I answered, all the questions that were posted, I will send the link to you guys, and I will send the link directly to where I answered your question, to the minute when I answered your question. All right, so you will definitely get that email from me, so don't worry about it. So if you need more help from me in the future, always email me. Now let me write down my email here. Okay, let me just find this out. Okay, so let's go back to, I don't have a proper way to show slides while I'm recording live. So I'm using PowerPoint right now. So my email is melvin@codora.com. So if you have any questions, you can just ask me. Feel free. I'm gonna reply you. I'm gonna answer you through email as well. You don't have to have a video right now anymore for that. So more questions, the better. I love to help. So I'm not charging anyone for my help. Go ahead, ask me questions, anything. If you find that I could help you, if you find that I'm useful for you, excuse me. Otherwise, tell me. If I'm not useful, tell me I'm not useful. It's okay, so that I'll know why and I know how to improve myself. So being an entrepreneur, again, it's very important for us to listen to our customers, listen to our users, what they think of us. whether we are good, whether we are bad, how we are good, how we are bad, so that you know where you're going. Now, perhaps since we have time right now, I'm gonna share a bit more about being an entrepreneur. Those who are not an entrepreneur yet and wanting to be, how to start. Let's talk about ideas. If you have an idea, great. If you don't have an idea, how to find ideas, right? Well, look at ideas around your domain expertise. Things that you're good at, around the industry. What are the things that you can do? What are the things you can solve, change, problems that you see that's happening? You have a way to solve it. One way that I'm teaching the rest of the people is by using the design thinking process. Design thinking. It's not about graphical design, not the soft design. It's about design can be something that about something that how it works. Design is not just about how something looks and feels. It's about how it works. That's what the late Steve Jobs said. Okay, so it's all about problem-solving technique we can learn to effectively solve a problem by using, say, a solution or a product or a prototype. That's what this design thinking is all about. Okay, you can try that method. You don't even really have to use that method to solve a problem. As long as you can have a good solution to a problem, if you're unsure that will work, test it. Like what I'm doing right now. I'm not sure if this online mentoring event would work for a lot of people. If it works, great. If it doesn't matter. Fix it. We iterate. We continue to improve on it. We change a little bit of it to make sure that it will eventually work for our users, for you guys. So you have to really taste and test it out and get feedback for whatever solutions or whatever prototype you have. A lot of times I see people just assume that their idea will work. They assume people want to pay for their product. We do a lot of assumptions. And a lot of times, to be honest, we end up being wrong. I was wrong a lot of times for a lot of ideas that I had. Some worked, some didn't work. So again, now if I have any idea, I'll test it out. Test it out. When I say test, I don't mean just asking people, if there's such a product to solve this kind of problem that you have, would it work? No. You have to really make them feel about it. You must make them know, touch the product, experience it for them to know whether it works or it doesn't work. I'll give you an example, right? So there was this market research focus group. It's a true story. So they got a bunch of people in a room deciding whether they like the gray colored radio, stereo radio better, or the yellow colored ones. So a lot of people decided to want to have, they think that the gray colored radio is better. Okay, so they were shown pictures of this radio. Gray colored radio, yellow colored radio. Which one's better? Everybody picked gray color one. So that, okay guys, thank you so much for your time. We're gonna give you a free radio when on your way out. Okay, so they walked out. They were given the choice of 2 radios. One gray, one yellow. Guess which one they picked? They picked the yellow one. So you see, this is exactly what I'm trying to say. When you ask someone something without seeing the thing, without feeling the thing, they don't really know what they want. So you have to show it to them. Steve Jobs said, show it to them. They don't know what they want. They really don't know what they want, especially if it's something that's new. You have to show it to them. Okay? So don't just ask questions if you think this idea or this product or this service will work, that will solve their problem. You have to build a prototype, an MVP, minimum viable product. Okay? Excuse me. So build a very simple software, product, whatever gadget device Excuse me. Let them test it out. Let your target market test them out. Bring them out for lunch, sit beside them, show them the product. Well, of course, you have to pay for the lunch, right? For their time. See how they'll use the product. See how they like or they hate your product. Why they like it. Why they hate it. Get all this data. Get all this feedback. When you know, or when you get all this feedback from them, you will know how to further iterate, further improve your product. Within the app, I got a lot of friends to test out my app. It was an app to scan business cards. Even though I know that thing works, because I need the app. I created the app because I needed the app to use. So I had so many business cards in my years of being an entrepreneur. Each time I collect one, it's hard for me to keep one because there's so many of them, and it's hard for me to search. So imagine I have a stack of business cards on my desks, and when I want to search for the person, it's so hard to find them. So me and my team developed this app where you can take a photo of the card, it digitizes the content, the text on the card, and store it into the app. So when you search it, you can actually find all this text. If I search for Sanjay or John or whatever, it will appear immediately, just like how you search on Google. So it's a very effective way for me to store business cards in my phone. So I went out and tested out with my friends. I called them out for lunch. I told them I got this app idea that you are my target market because you are a business person, you are a professional, business professional. I need you to see if you like this app. Of course, I paid for the lunch, so got them out, get them to install the app, see how they use the app. Then I found out that some of them didn't know how to use the app. They actually was lost. So I added a tutorial. Me and my team added a tutorial, a simple tutorial to teach them how they use it. Well, guess what? Until today, some of my beta testers who were my friends, they are still using this app. In fact, I'm quite surprised. So this app called Card HQ, card as in business card, HQ as in headquarters. So Card HQ, you can Google it, you can search it on App Store and Google Play. It's available. We are getting people to download it. We get good and bad reviews. Well, mostly I guess it's good. We got about 4.2 star rating right now. We are getting about 100 to 500 business cards scanned in a day without any marketing. We didn't do any marketing for this app. We just built the app because I was thinking that probably this is an app that I really wanted to have. It saves my life as a business person. I don't have to search through so many stacks of cards. Easy to scan them. Easy to store on my phone. I'm still using it myself. So we didn't do any marketing for this app. We still have people downloading this app every day. So all I'm saying is that when you have an idea, when you have a product solution that you want to build it, then test it. Make sure you have get enough feedback from the customers. Okay, that's the most important thing I think that you need to know as an entrepreneur or as a new entrepreneur, because I found a lot of them tend to make this mistake. All right, and it's an ongoing process. It's not like one-time process. Once you hit it, then you launch, people are gonna like it. You're still gonna further improve on that product to continue to make it perfect, right? Now, other things that I find new entrepreneurs usually make, mistakes that they usually make, is they focus too much in quantity, not quality. They want to build a product that has 101 features, and they don't even know if the user wants to have so many features. So they go for breadth instead of depth. So they build a lot of features, but all these features are not really functioning properly or doesn't really work that well. Okay, what you need to do is, instead of focusing on so many features, focus on a few killer features. A killer app killer X factor, whatever you call it, those killer features that you think that your customer or your users would really want and they could not live without. That's the one that you're trying to go for. All the other features you can have it, not now, later. Build a very simple prototype. Focus on a few key features that you think people really want. Really make it a killer feature. Make it fast, make it easy to use, make it very user-friendly, intuitive, whatever. Then if this works, you can start selling the whatever product you have. And then you could eventually add more features along the way. Okay, remember, get those killer features right in the first place. Okay, now let's see if we have any more questions. No more questions. Not sure how many people are tuning in right now because I cannot really see it on YouTube. Right now, another place that you can look at for more or for ideas, business ideas, is you can go to Ideas Watch. So if you go to Ideas Watch, you can actually browse for ideas here. You can also post ideas and get people's feedback. So you see each and every one of this, like post-it note, they are actually ideas from individuals who uploaded the idea, and you can actually have a look what the idea is about, and you can actually participate in the idea. You can team up with their idea creator. So this is an interesting website. I find that people could share ideas from around the world. Okay, there's this one really peculiar idea that I saw on this website like a few months ago. It's an idea that, you know, some people don't like to eat alone. They don't like to have their lunch alone. They don't like to have dinner alone. They feel a bit, I don't know, embarrassed, I guess. I guess I was like that previously before I got used to it. So there's an app where it helps you to match other people to have lunch with or to have dinner with. So it's a pretty interesting idea. I don't know what happened to that idea. I don't know whether it worked or whether someone built an app for it. But seriously, who could have thought of that? I wouldn't have thought about that idea. But someone thought about it and uploaded the idea on this website, Ideas Watch. And you know, you get some really crazy ideas on this website. So it will probably, you can work with them. Probably it will help you to spin off a more better idea, a more polished idea. So if you're out of ideas, go to this website, search and browse. You know, see what people are thinking about. Work with them. Well, try not to steal the ideas, of course. Or, you know, partner with them. Or improve on their idea and come up with another better idea. Alright. Skip the line at supermarkets. Quickly. Wow, this is interesting. Education stocks. Car parking finder. This is something that I always wanted to have, but I believe it's a bit difficult to build this website, to build this kind of solution right now, or this kind of app, because it's just hard for you to navigate inside parking, inside parking lot. Remember, parking lots are usually multi-story, so when you're inside the parking lot, you don't have GPS access, so it may not be accurate when you're inside a parking lot. So you do not have, you don't even have a mobile connection, a mobile signal. Hence, there's no GPS function when you're inside a parking lot. So you have to find a different way to navigate someone in a parking lot. But I believe this is something that everybody of us will want to have. Imagine, I go to shopping malls, I forgot where I park. I go to concerts, stadiums, I come out, I don't know where I park. So this will definitely work if someone could really build a very effective and efficient app or a solution for this problem. Okay. Now let's see if we have any more questions. No. All right, perhaps we can just cut it short. It's almost 10 now, which means it's almost 9 in Malaysia, and probably still very early in Sri Lanka right now. So Dulara, if you have more questions, let me know. Sanjay, socially affluencers, Sweet Nightmare, Apple Tree, Sweet Chung, you're pretty quiet. So you have any questions to ask me? I'm sure the other people who signed up couldn't make it today, so I'm just gonna send them this recorded version of this session. Alright, so I'm just gonna end this here, and I thank you all for watching in. Really appreciate this. This is my first time again doing this. Leave your comments, let me know how did I do. Was it good? Was it bad? If it's good or bad, let me know why, how I can further improve this. And I'm thinking of doing more of this in the future. Yeah, if I have time. I'm currently working as a freelance consultant for a Korean company here. I only been in Korea like less than 2 months, and now they are currently helping them to venture into overseas to expand their business, and they may be wanting me to work for them as full-time in their new ICO that's coming up in August. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to join them because I still have my own startup that I want to launch. This could be part of my startup I'm going to launch called Codora. I'm going to offer unlimited online courses, which means that you join my website, you join my community, you pay probably just $15 a month. You get to access unlimited courses. I'm going to launch a lot of courses such as on idea generation, design thinking, how to do SEO, search engine optimization, how to do content marketing, how to do social media marketing, email marketing. I already have the email marketing course on Udemy. I'm gonna have things about how to negotiate on with your investor, how to negotiate on a business sale, how to do a revenue sharing agreement, how to file a patent, copyright, how to build a mobile app, website, how to, I've learned a lot during my 14 years as an entrepreneur. I'm a very hands-on person. I did most of the things myself. Now it's my time to teach you guys how to do it. So I'm gonna produce like a lot of courses, and I'm gonna have mentoring session as well. So the question now I'm asking myself is, how am I gonna do this mentoring session? Is it gonna be one-to-one, which is quite impossible because imagine if I have so many users, each of them that I need to have a one-to-one session with. If I have this kind of session, one-to-many, live, but again, you guys have to be online when I'm online, although we are thousands of miles apart. May not work for you as well. Now, I'm still trying to find a best solution. Probably could be a Q&A forum on the website where you could ask for advice from me. That could be one. It can be text-based, meaning Q&A without videos, or it can be with videos. I'm not really sure about that yet, to be honest. But what I'm sure of is I'm going to produce a lot of online courses to help you guys to get from A to Z. Even fundraising, how to raise funds, how to do a business plan, how to do an effective business plan, how to invest into cryptocurrencies. What is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? How to raise your ICO if you want to do an ICO. I may even talk about how to do your own ICO. how to get free labor to do your work. A lot of my courses will be centered on how to do something for absolutely free or with a very low cost. So my killer factor, remember I said about killer feature? The killer factor or X factor or the unique selling proposition that I have for this Codora is I will teach you how to do your business with the least cost possible. Least cost possible. Least cost means it could be free. Least cost means it could be free on a very low cost. Because I know that a lot of us do not have investors. We are not in Silicon Valley. It's impossible for us to raise millions of dollars for a startup. I know that. I managed to raise, I didn't accept any investment, so I was very much independently or privately funded all the while I was running my startup. But I know money is important. Perhaps when you start, you are not able to get investors yet. You can go ahead and start with the lowest cost possible. So I'm going to teach you how to build websites for free, how to get labor for free, how to hire interns, how to sign a contract for free. How to get customers for free. Things like that. Growth hacking. I managed to growth hack my previous fantasy football game for Euro 2012, where we obtained about 69,000 users around the world within like 2 months, without any money. Right? We use a combination of techniques. We use SEO, search engine optimization, and we use Facebook apps platform, which is a social media platform. Growth hacking without paying a single cent. Things like that. How do you do that? So I'm gonna teach you guys all this growth hacking, etc., etc. Okay, so I hope you guys will have a look of it when it's launched. I'm not sure whether it's launched yet. Now I only have 5 courses. It takes a while to produce courses. It's not easy. It takes time to do video editing, etc., and recording. All right. So now Wong is here and he asked a question. I have a question. He said, "How to bring Melvin back to coaching?" I think that's out of the question. So I have no plans to go back to Malaysia. I know there's a general election coming up in Malaysia soon. I hope all the best. I hope may the best party wins. So the only time you can access me, I guess, is through this online mentorship. Maybe a better form of online mentoring session next time than this, hopefully. But again, it's only one of me. There are not many of me. I can only help so many people at once. This, I feel, is the easiest way for me to do it. One too many. So Wong, if you have any questions, let me know. I know you always have a lot of questions. So some of the people here, I really know them very well. Sanjay, thanks for your support. Wong, social influencers, the rest of you. Chong is here as well, I'm sure. You want to know about Korea? Okay, maybe I'll share a little bit about Korea. I guess Malaysia and Southeast Asians are going through this Hallyu, they call it, Korean wave. Hallyu is in Korean, stands for Korean wave. So we're experiencing a lot of Korean culture right now in Southeast Asia, like in Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, etc. And people always have, there are a lot of Malaysians and Southeast Asians coming to Korea as tourists nowadays compared to like 5 years ago. A lot more. And what is Korea? How Korea is different than other countries? You may be asking. Can I do a business? Can I run a new startup in Korea? Correct? Now, all these are based on my experience. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's wrong. It's all based on what I experienced in Korea. I've been in Korea for more than 20 times before I finally settled down right now. So I'm married to a Korean. So prior to that, I've been to Korea like 20 over times. This is what I can think about Korea. For a place to start business, depends. If you're trying to target a local market, I will tell you it's almost impossible. Because of the language, that's one. Two, because of the competitiveness of Koreans. We are as a foreigner, of course, for third reason is foreigner, being a foreigner. Korea is not the most foreigner-friendly country in the world, especially to do business. I'm not trying to judge I'm just trying to tell you what I experienced, the facts. Koreans prefer to work with Koreans for multiple reasons. One, language reason. Koreans as you know, Koreans are not really fluent in English, but they can communicate in basic English as well. But again, if you want to talk about business English, they usually fail in that. Alright, so language is the first problem, first barrier. That's why they prefer to work with local Koreans. Second, Koreans tend to trust other Koreans, not foreigners. If they need to work with someone, if they need to pick between a Korean and a foreigner, if they are both equally qualified, they would prefer definitely to work with the Koreans a lot more, even if the Korean is less qualified than foreigner. Okay, that's the nature about Koreans. They tend to want to work with their own. They tend to want to live with their own. They are a very homogeneous society because Korea is a very homogeneous society. You don't find white, black, Hispanics, Jewish, Asians, just like in US. You don't find Malay, Chinese, Indian living together, just like Malaysia. You only find Koreans living with Koreans. That's Korea. They are like Japan, almost similar to Japanese. It's just that Japan is worse. Japanese is worse in the sense that they are even more homogeneous. Koreans are more open towards foreigners than Japan. You go to Japan, forget it if you don't know Japanese. You have to know Japanese in order to survive in Japan. In Korea, you can still survive with English. People generally know how to speak. People generally could understand English when you speak to them, but they just have a bit of a trouble to want to reply you in English. Because remember, Koreans, they do learn English in their schools, in high schools, in middle school, elementary school, nowadays, I guess. But they're just not used to talking English, because Koreans speak Korean language with other Koreans. They don't speak English. So they're not used to speaking that English. So when you come to Korea, you can live and survive with English. You talk to them slowly in English. They tend to know what you're trying to say. It's just that they will struggle when they want to respond to you. So they'll just you just give them some time, and they know what you want generally. Okay, that's Korea. Okay, other things about Korea is it's very competitive. I mentioned that. Whatever idea, whatever products that you have that you're trying to sell to Korea, I'm sure there's a Korean version of it already being sold in Korea. I mean, it's not just one product they already have. They probably would have a dozen of the same product already before they even want to buy your imported product. Okay, so Korea is a very competitive country. Everybody wants to be successful. Everybody wants to be, so everybody's hungry for success. Okay, people are not really laid back here. I mean, from the young to the old, you can see across the board. My in-laws are busy with their convenience shop that they're running. They are never down. They they never take a day off. They work every day, running the convenience store, of course, in different shifts. They're very hardworking people, very hungry for success kind of people, very driven people. So if you want to come to Korea and do a business, you have to be as good as them or better. But again, one of the advantages that we have as a foreigner in Korea is that we can speak English. They cannot speak English. So if you're in Korea and you're trying to do a foreign market, or you're trying to, for example, do a business relating to English, then you have a huge upper hand advantage against the locals. For example, if you want to come here and do a English language academy, well, although there are a lot already, as you know, Korea is very competitive, you could always find something different. Perhaps you offer online English courses for free, perhaps you can offer business English, etc. As long as you want to do a business that you could have a competitive advantage, such as in language, you could survive here. Otherwise, it's difficult. So although I'm in Korea, doesn't mean I'm going to do business just for Korean market. I prefer to do business for the global market, the market that I'm familiar with. Okay, the government is trying to encourage people to come to Korea, encourage foreigners to come to Korea to do business. And I can share with you one website if you plan to start your business in Korea. SeoulGSC.com. I'm not sure if you guys can see this. It's actually the Seoul Global Startup Standard. Okay, so if you are wanting to start your business, you can start a business in Seoul. You can get free office space over here. Access membership program. If you're looking for free office space, you can actually apply here. They give you free 3 months of use of the office space. This is the size, opening hours. These are the services. You can drink all the coffee that you want, water. You can use the conference room, co-working table, etc. You can print up to 100 pages per month using their photocopy machine. Okay, it's free for you to apply. You can come in, apply, and they actually have resident membership as well, where they provide seed money for you to start your business idea. So if you have an idea and you want to start your business doing that idea, apply for this residence membership program. They can give you seed money up to 10 million won. Okay, 10 million won is approximately $10,000. Okay, it's almost $10,000. So that's about 40,000 ringgit Malaysia to start. I think that's a good amount of money for you to start. The only problem is they have the intake, different timing for the intake, and I think it's already over. It's just started, I think, and now it just ended. Oh, it just ended, I think, yeah. So this is one of the programs that you can join. Maybe they'll have another intake later on this year, not sure. But there are other startup programs and groups in Korea who are wanting to start as well. They have their own startup ecosystem here as well, own startup scene here as well. They have their startup weekend here as well. The problem is a lot of times those programs or those events are in Korean language, except for this one. This one is a global startup center, so the main language I think is English. So everyone generally know how to speak English here. Okay, so they're trying to attract foreigners to come to Korea to start their business. So if you really want to be here, if there's a reason for you to be here, you can come here. Now, if you want to come here, what is the cost? That is the biggest question here. The cost in Korea is not cheap. Now, I know a lot of people are online, who are online right now, they are actually Malaysians. Cost of living, well, generally everything in Korea is like 2 times to 3 times more expensive than Malaysia. Okay, 2 times to 3 times more expensive. they are, except for their gas, for their petrol for your car, that's like 4 to 6 times more expensive, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 times more expensive for the gas. But generally, everything is about 2 times to 3 times more expensive. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3. For example, a meal that you eat. In Malaysia, a meal will cost you how much? Cheapest $8 nowadays, or 10. In Korea, it will cost you maybe like 20 or 24. Decent meal, 24, let's say, 24 ringgit. In Korea, that's about 6,000 won. What else? Generally, everything is like 2 times to 3 times more expensive than Malaysia. That's probably 3 times to 4 times more expensive than Indonesia or Philippines, or Thailand. What else? Except for the cars. The cars are relatively cheaper than Malaysia, and the cigarettes. That's what my friend told me. He smokes. So cigarettes and cars are more cheaper in Korea than Malaysia. Okay, you have to bear in mind that. Okay. Other than that, rental, renting a room, it can reach like a decent room, a studio room, at a good area. There are these small little rooms that they rent to students to stay. It's called there's a name for it, Goshi-won, I think. That will fetch around 1,000 ringgit. That's about $200 to $300,000. No, sorry, $200 to $300. That's 200 to 300,000 Korean won. So that's about 1,000 or 1,002 ringgit a month. Just a room, a really fully functional room. You have a bed, you have a place to eat, you have a microwave, you have a dedicated toilet, you have a washing machine inside, but it's a very small room. Enough just for one person to stay. Really small. Again, Korea has it's very small. It's a very small country in terms of land size, but huge in population. So everybody is like packed like sardines on this land. All right. So people live close to one another. Houses, apartments, in fact, are very not as big as Malaysia or Indonesia or Thailand. It's not as small as Hong Kong or Singapore. Now, Hong Kong and Singapore has the least amount of land. It's more than that, but it's not as huge as general Southeast Asian country. Okay, that will be the cost generally to survive. But public transportation is very efficient. There's virtually no traffic jam for the public transportation generally, because I mean subways, you don't have traffic jams in subways. So although you travel to work during the peak hours, there are a lot of people in the trains, but you will still reach your place on time. That's the thing. They do have traffic jams as well, because it's a big city. Seoul has 10 million people alone living in Seoul. The greater Seoul area, that's around the area, Seoul plus around the area called Gyeonggi-do, has about 25 million people. That's half of Korea's population. That's how enormous in terms of population living in a tiny area here. Okay, but again, Seoul is not that small as well. To travel from one end to one end of Seoul, east to west, will take you to drive maybe an hour or more. That's how big Seoul is. Okay, so people generally travel using public transportation system, using the buses that connects you to the subway. Taxis are available as well. Quality of life here is a lot better. Although there are more people, it's more efficient. It's a very functional country, okay, to live. May not be the best country to do business as a foreigner or even as locals. Locals are always faced with stiff competition among themselves here. Okay, so that's about Korea, and I'm not sure if you guys have any more questions to ask. So Fong said that spare him a room in Korea in case anything goes wrong after the election. Yes, I do have a empty room here, but you know, if you really want to move to Korea to do something, really think about it, because cost of living here isn't that low, and again, it's not easy to do business here. Fong, I'm not sure whether you guys know about him. He runs a home food, what do you call this? Home food marketplace. Fong, how do you see? Okay, could you just type your website here, or maybe I can just go and show you guys his website. Now, Fong is a mentee I'm currently mentoring. Okay, he's also a friend. So I'm just gonna tell you a bit more about his startup called Food Hero, foodhero.my. If you're a homemaker, or if you like to cook and you make dishes at home and you want to sell them, you can go to his website and sell it on his website. It's a homemade food marketplace. You can pre-order all these foods around, but it's only mainly based in Kuching, Sarawak right now. The largest state in Malaysia, Kuching, Sarawak. So all these foods are made by mainly housewives or women at home, selling them from home. Okay. He's looking for investor to expand to KL, expand it to across Malaysia. Okay, so you may want to check this out. If you're keen to partner with him, if you think there's opportunity for him to go somewhere, or to reach out to the entire Malaysia, please contact him. You can just go to foodhero.my, and he should have a contact us page or a link somewhere here. Now that is a problem I think he needs to solve. There's no way for someone to contact him, so I think he should put it somewhere here. Contact us, you know. Who knows, some investor may want to contact you, right? So again, Fong, please add a contact us link, a form or an email on your website. Who knows, you know, someone may want to invest in your, who wants to be your partner for your website, you know. So I always believe everyone should have a simple contact us page on their website. Someone somewhere may have some ideas or some opportunity to share with you. Okay, so please, no one's gonna spam you. Anyway, if you use a contact form, you won't be spammed. Okay. Build a contact form. Use WordPress to build your website. Okay, let me share with you guys this. WordPress is probably the world's most widely used web building software. It's free. I myself, I run currently like 4 to 5 websites running on WordPress. It is so easy to use. It's free. There are millions of tutorials online, millions of plugins online to do millions of things. You should use this WordPress platform when you build your website. It's not difficult to build, really, and it's free. You can always use Wix, you can always use Weebly, you can always use those web building software, but you have to pay in a monthly basis, and they are not SEO friendly. WordPress is proven to be SEO, which is why a lot of my websites got ranked high on Google because of WordPress. Now, this is one new website that I just built. It's called Business English Now. It's meant to target Koreans, to teach Koreans about business English. So I have articles about business English, about silly mistakes that Koreans do in English, like they like to use the word grand open instead of grand opening. You see all these images? These are all big brands. Starfield is a big brand. Shinsegae is a totally premium departmental store in Korea. Lotte is also an expensive departmental store, and all these big boys are making simple mistakes in English. It's grand opening, not grand open. Chicken Maru, franchise in Korea. They make, well, I wouldn't say they make silly mistakes. I would just say that I'm trying to improve on their business creed here from before to after. Okay, you see mistakes in their product packaging. You know Nature Republic. You have it in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Do you witness the English mistakes here? Okay, I'm not saying that I have perfect English. I'm just saying that perhaps I could help them in their English a little bit here. Okay, so this is just a website I built on WordPress. I built it in like a few hours. Okay, so look into WordPress if you want to build a website. Okay, Michael is here. Michael Menock. Okay, Michael, you have any questions for me? Go ahead and ask. Okay, if you find, again, Michael, just let you know I'm here to answer any questions that you may have on online business, on startup, on tech business. I'm doing this for the first time. I want to see if this works for everyone. This online mentoring session. If you have any questions, please ask me. I'm here to help for free, really. I'm not asking anything in return. Only return that I'm asking is your comment, your honest feedback, that about this session, that how can I improve on this? Is this bad or is this good? If it's bad, why is bad? If it's good, why is good? So that I can improve further on this, or I could decide if I really want to pursue this online mentoring session again. Probably I should change it to some other ways. Probably not, I'm not sure. Okay, so any questions you have, please ask. Now, other things I'd like to share with you is what else you want to know. More about Korea, perhaps. What can I say? Okay, Korea is there are a few things that you can learn from Koreans. Okay, work ethics, number one. They are very good in working. You always hear stories that Koreans work very hard. Yes, they do. Sometimes they work too hard. They are very hardworking people. They are very serious in work. They don't mix pleasure at work. They're like the Germans. When it's working time, they fully concentrate on working. When it's drinking time, when it's fun time, they fully concentrate in drinking and having fun. So in the office, people tend to work and they don't chit chat, they don't surf the internet, they don't Facebook, they don't do all this kind of stuff that maybe we tend to want to do when we work, but they don't. They're very serious about it. So that's one of the culture that Koreans have. They're very focused in what they're doing. They're very good in customer service. You go to a restaurant, you go to a hotel, you go to buy a new mobile phone, you go to a shop, you go to a convenience store. People will treat you like they want you to come. They treat you like they welcome you to come. They're desperate for you to come. They are so polite. They are so driven to ensure that your experience at their shops is the best. People greet when you come in. People greet you even once the door opens. They look at you. I know some countries, I don't know, from Malaysia, I guess sometimes people are not so customer oriented. People don't greet, they don't smile, they ignore you. Korea is different. Food comes before even you sit on a table. I mean, they serve side dishes. Koreans are famous for their panchan side dishes. Sometimes the side dishes would come even before you sit on the table. That's how efficient they are. And Korea is a very functional country. Things are very efficient. You don't find a lot of stupid things happening here. Everything makes sense. Everything has its reasons. Everything's are very functional. That's why they could progress so fast. Remember that after the Korean War in 1950, the country was devastated. The country had nothing. No buildings, everything was destroyed. The country was so poor that the Americans had to come and help them to rebuild the country. So people were living in hardcore poverty at that time. Life was tough. And Korea is a country that doesn't have any natural resources. Remember that. Okay, no natural resources, no oil, no timber, no minerals, no whatever. The only resource that they have is human resource. So they have lots of people, or not lots of people, well, I guess they have enough people. Hence, the country built upon the help and the productivity of their people. So people had to work hard to survive. Countries like Malaysia, we have oil and gas to survive. We have tin to survive that time. We have timber to survive. We have a lot of those things to survive. We don't really have to depend on one single industry. Korea, they depend on the people. So how did they build a country? Education is their foundation of their progress. They emphasize a lot in education, even until today. So during that time after Korean War, the parents emphasize on education more than even on food. I heard that people are willing to sacrifice food in order to educate their kids. So people became educated. Then, from the knowledge that they have, they built industries with that knowledge. It started with like textile industry. So they did more labor-based industries, textile labor-intensive industry. Then they also moved to other more industrial industry, hard industries like steel making. Remember, Korea, they don't have steel. Alright, they don't have natural resources. They don't have steel. So where do they get their steel from? They import it from other countries like Russia, I think. So they import the steel, raw steel. They produce materials from those steel. That's how they started. So with those steel, there plenty of steel products the byproduct of steel will be ships. So with so much steel that they have, so much steel that they produce, they use those steel to build ships. So they have those industries, shipbuilding industries. I think the company was Hyundai. Hyundai started with shipbuilding. They build ships, and then of course they build cars. You have Kia, you have Hyundai. So you use all the steel that they have to build cars, Hyundai and Kia. The question now is that how did they learn all those skills? Okay, Koreans, they learn from other countries. They learn how to build cars from Ford. They partnered with Ford. Ford taught them how to build cars, and initially they use cars from Ford. You know, the car designed by Ford, built by Ford. They just change the badge, or rebadging they call it, just like what they do in other countries, like Malaysia. So they learn from Ford to build the cars. So as years goes on, they learn how to really build their own cars. And until today, you see Kia and Hyundai are all over the world. So they really learn and they really build their own cars and own automobiles, even all the way to electric cars now. The Hyundai Ioniq, I think the brand is called. So that's what they do. They learn from other people, and the best part is they became better than other people. They don't just learn and copy, they become now even better. Example. This is a real life example. Okay, I have a friend in KL who works for an international US company. They're a software company. They have a software that Korea does not have. So they work with a partner in Korea to sell this software to Korean clients, business clients. So after a year of signing the agreement, the Korean counterpart wanted to terminate the agreement, citing no business for this software. No one in Korea, no businesses in Korea want to use this software. So the company in Malaysia or / American company agreed to it. Of course, no business, let's just terminate the contract. No point continue on. And after they terminated the agreement, they realized that the Korean, the partner, so-called partner, secretly built the same software. And worst part is they used their software and they sold the software to the Korean customers, the Korean clients. So that's how snaky or tricky or whatever key you want to call it. But you know, if you're the software company, if you're my friend's company, you'll be upset. You know, you'll be mad about them, mad towards them, right? So, but then if you look at it, it's actually a very smart move. You see, they copied the software from another person and build it themselves and sell it to their own people. That's how Koreans generally sometimes they do business. Okay, they are very driven. You know, whether you think it's right or wrong, for me, I think generally as long as you're not, it may sound unethical in a way, but as long as they're not breaking the law, the rules, I think it's okay. Well, sometimes I feel like if I were them, probably I would do the same as well. So, you know, so if you want to work with Koreans, do be careful if you need to share your technology with them. But unless you have some great technology, otherwise, I'm sure their technology is better than ours. They're good in technical skills. They're good in technical products, but they're not so good yet in soft skills like business, selling skills, skills like, what do I say? Skills like presentation skills, skills like emailing skills, communication skills. They're still not that good in those soft skills. Technical skills, they are second to none. Believe me. I'm not sure if you compare it to other more developed countries, probably not. But for us, for me, like coming from Malaysia, from Southeast Asia, they are second to none in terms of technical skills. In fact, they compete in a robotics competition in Silicon Valley, and the KAIST, KAIST, which is the renowned tech university in Korea, won the competition in Silicon Valley. So that's how they're good. That's how they're good at. That's how they are great. That's how they're great at in technical skills, computer, AI, etc. Okay, so this is a story, a true story that I like to share with you. And Koreans are very hospitable. They know how to make people happy. They know how to serve people. They know. I mean, if you go to somewhere, meeting with some friends, generally they will want to pay for the meal. They want to pay for the drinks, and they like to shower you with gifts. It's very much a Korean culture. Gifting culture is very much embedded into the Korean culture. So don't be surprised if you meet Korean potential customers and they will give you gifts. Okay, and of course it's also natural and also polite for you to reciprocate and to give them back gifts as well. So that's very common for them to do. Very hospitable. They make sure that you're comfortable when you visit their houses. They make sure that you're comfortable when you visit their offices. They serve you with coffee, tea. They give you souvenirs to leave. They buy you dinner, lunch, and etc. Okay, so that's what Koreans are all about. So again, back to our session here. If you have more questions, please jot down any questions that you might have. Otherwise, I'm not sure what else I want to share. I'm pretty much out of things to share here. Any questions, you guys? No questions? Nothing to ask? If you have, let me know. Email me, and I'm just gonna show you my email again. Excuse me. So that's my email, melvin@codora.com. Okay, if any questions about entrepreneurship, about starting your business, problems that you have with your business, maybe I can share with you one business about one of my mentees that I'm mentoring. They are doing handicrafts, and sometimes it's very important for you to have a balanced management team. They have very talented they have very talented bunch of designers who could design really good handicrafts. But the problem is they're not good in selling them. So they could design a lot, but no one's really focused into selling them or marketing them. The co-founder, they have two co-founders. They have two founders. One is the creative director, who's in charge of all the creative work and design work, where she gets to produce all those handicrafts. The other is more like a CEO, but it's not really a CEO. It's actually an engineer. So you see, no one in that company is really good in marketing or sales. So as you know, the company needs to survive with revenue, with sales, with money. So if you're not selling, or no one's selling, or no one's really focusing on selling or good at it, your company is going to suffer without revenue. Remember that you need to generate your own revenue. We are not Silicon Valley here. We are not in a country where there are billions and billions of VC money coming in to demand to be given to you. You have to survive on your own. I like to focus with entrepreneurs outside of Silicon Valley, where money investment is hard to reach, hard to obtain. You need to survive on your own. So you need to remember to generate your own revenue first when you start your business. Be independent enough. Try to gain your revenue and profit by yourself. Okay, now Michael has a question. I'm currently working on a public-facing app. Is it okay to build the application to test its feasibility and think about the legal matter later? Think about the legal matter later. Yes, you should forget about the legal matter now. Forget about it. Build the app, test the app, make sure your target market loves the app. If they don't, ask them why, change it, fix it, iterate, reiterate to ensure that the product works, then launch. When you launch, then you should start to think about the legal matters. Why do I say that? Okay, people don't care about you when you're small. Even if you're breaking the law. Okay, look at this. A classic example will be Silk Road. You know the marketplace that sells drugs online? Yeah, there was a marketplace called Silk Road, I think. It's a website that sells, it was a website that sold drugs. The question that I'm going to ask you is that, well, first of all, it's illegal to do that, right? So if the founder thought that, hey, I'm going to have a legal matter in my hands immediately upon having this website launched. Did he think about that? No, not really. Well, actually, eventually, it took him a while, or took the website a while to be noticed by authorities. Then eventually, they caught the founder at a cyber cafe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. So, I'm just saying that when you're small, when you're not noticeable, you're really not noticeable. And even if they notice you, probably they're gonna take a while to want to catch you if you're doing something wrong. And say you're violating somebody else's patent. Say, for example, you know, previously they had this war with Apple and Samsung, I believe. and I don't know, Apple and Samsung or IBM forgot, and someone was infringing somebody else's patents for many years. So even with that, the plaintiff or the person owning the patent didn't decide to sue. Why? Because why should I sue you now? You're not making any money. You're probably making what, $10,000 or $1 million, or my patent will worth $100 million. If you're making more, if you're making like $1 billion, right? So because they will only sue you when they see their money to make from you. So if you have a patent, if you see someone is infringing your patent, don't sue them first. Let them use it. Let them use it until they make so much money. Then you go and sue them for all the money that they owe you. Okay? Sit and wait. Let the money comes first. Then get a lawyer to sue them and claim for all the royalties that they owe you for the past, say, 3 to 5 years of using your patent. These are called patent trolls. I think there's some people who do that. Okay, so don't worry about the legal matter now. Even if you think there is going to be a legal matter, test the product first, make it work, launch it. Now, if someone comes to your door, knock on your door and say, hey, you're doing something wrong with my company, with my product, or you're infringing my rights or whatever, then you talk to them, settle it with them. I'll give you an example. It's a story. It's a real life story of me receiving a letter from Facebook. Okay, now this is a very interesting story, right? Pretty interesting, I guess, for myself being an entrepreneur for so many years. I was running a website. I forgot what website. I wanted to promote my website to Facebook users. So I bought this script, this software from someone online, I wish I could plug this software on my website. And if you use that software and you enter your Facebook ID, I could read all your contacts on Facebook, and with a press of a button, I could invite all my Facebook friends to my website. That's what the software was about. So if you read the terms of service of Facebook back then, they actually disallowed that. That's actually illegal based on terms and service of Facebook. It's not criminally illegal. It's not, this is a civil issue here, that I'm infringing the terms of use of Facebook. So I was running it very successfully. A lot of my customers actually came from Facebook. So they invited their friends using this software. Enter their username and password. Click on the friends that you want to invite. Press a button. The software will automatically invite those friends to my website. Then one day I received a cease and desist letter from Facebook. So Facebook claimed that I'm misusing their website for this purpose, and they asked me amicably asked me with being polite, say that please stop doing this. If you stop doing this, we're not gonna do anything with you. So of course, back then I was just a one-man show. I was the only person in my company. I stopped using that service, and Facebook didn't take any action with me, right? That is one experience that I had when it comes to legal matter. Now I have other legal matters that I can share with you, Michael. Here's another one. Okay, trademarks, sports trademarks like English Premier League, MLB, NBA, Formula 1, F1, right? So Formula 1 or F1, the trademark is owned by the Formula 1, what's the name of the company? Formula 1 Association or whatever, right? So we had an app, which is a Formula 1 app. So this Formula 1 app basically it's a simple Formula One app. We don't really make money from this app. We just thought that it's easy for us to build this app. We just build it just to show it on our business portfolio that we could build so many apps. So build this simple Formula One app that tells you the results, the schedules, and the standings for the current championship for Formula One. So we call it Formula One app, I think, or something like that. And after many months using this app, someone who was representing the Formula One company came and said that we are infringing the rights of the trademark. Great. So this guy said, stop this app, unpublish it from the App Store, and we will not do anything with you, right? So politely, of course, being a nice guy, we did that. My company did that. I asked my guys to remove it from the App Store and remove it. But the thing is, we were not the only one doing this. I mean, today you can go and search F1 on Google Play or App Store. You can find a lot of apps, right? And there are a lot of other people who are doing that, who are infringing or misusing the trademark. So I emailed that guy back and said, hey, so many people are also doing that. Are you not taking action with them? Well, he didn't reply me. Fine. So after many weeks and months passed, those other apps are still there. So I emailed this guy again. I said, you're not taking action with all these people, and you're taking action with me. You're asking me to remove it. I removed it. And those people, they haven't removed those apps, even if you ask them. So why should I remove it? So guess what I did? I purposely republished the app. I put the app back on Google Play. So you might think, oh shit, Melvin's in trouble right now and someone's going to send a legal lawsuit to Melvin to sue Melvin over this app. No, he didn't reply at all. He did nothing at the end. And we did nothing at the end. And we only removed the app eventually when we don't need the app anymore. So you see that, again, it is not easy to sue somebody, okay, even if they want to, even if they can. All right, lawsuit is expensive. Okay, I went through, I've sued people before, and to be honest with you, I didn't get much from it as well. So, legal fees are expensive. Remember that. Even in a contingency basis in the US, you know what's a contingency basis in the US? Means that you can revenue share your profit, quote unquote, from the lawsuit. Okay, even that, you see, the lawyer has to pick and have to decide if your lawsuit is worth suing. If you do not have a solid case, if you don't have a solid evidence to support your lawsuit, they may not even want to take up your lawsuit because they know there's a risk to them. They may leave empty-handed. So you think a contingency plan in the US works as well? No, not really. The lawyers can be very tricky people as well. They can tell you, okay, I think this case is hard to fight. I want more share. I want, instead of I take 30, you take 70, I want to take 40, you take 60. So they want more, 40%. So then you have to decide, do you agree with that? You know that 40% of whatever claim, money, financial claim you're claiming from the defendant will be going into your lawyer's pocket. So if you agree, go ahead and do it. But still, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna win. Again, still it depends on the motivation of the lawyer if they want on how they fight for your case. So going down the line in a lawsuit, if they decided that your case is hard, has a low chance to win, they may even ask you to drop the case. They may even put your case in their waiting list, or they don't want to work on your case anymore. They just don't have the motivation to work on the case anymore because they don't see that money coming in anymore. It's the probability of winning is is lower. You see, so it's not that straightforward matter as well. Even if you have contingency basis. Okay, so all in all, it's not easy to sue somebody. So Michael, I think I've explained more than enough to answer your question. Go ahead and build the app and test it with people. You can even put it on App Store if they allow you to put it on App Store. I'm not sure what sort of legal matter are you talking about. If you don't mind to share, please post it here. If you mind to share, as long as it is not illegal to the sense that it doesn't have any sexual explicit content. It's not about alcohol, drugs, firearms. It's nothing that is against the rules of the app stores. You know, they have guidelines. If it's something that's very gray, in a very gray area, you can try to put it up there, Michael. You know, if you want, you can email me. I will help you out. I'll give you as much information as I could, what you should do. But generally, just go ahead and try it out, put it up, or sell it somewhere, sell it apps somewhere. When you become successful, then you worry about the legal matter. Okay. Now, any more questions from anyone? How about Dennis or Chung? Anyone? Dulara, are you still here? I'm sorry, you said that you have problems with your connection. You're most welcome, Michael. If you have more questions, please do drop it here. You know, I'm more than happy to help. I hope I answered your question properly. Otherwise, let me know where I missed. Wong, if you're still there, how's your food hero business going on? I hope it's doing well. I hope it's picking up. I still have a few minutes. Okay, so I guess this is the end. So I have 5 minutes to go. I'd like to end to say very much thank you to everyone who is online, whether for a minute or for the past 3 hours. I really appreciate your time. I know it's not easy to be online. I always forget webinar or online session like this because I'm not used to it, having to talk with someone online, I mean. So if you have more questions, email me at melvin@codora.com. melvin@codora.com. Next, oh yeah, do me a favor, leave comments below. I think below somewhere you can leave comments. Comments will be your feedback, honest feedback, please, good or bad. I don't mind the bad ones. Really, I don't mind the bad ones. In fact, I love bad comments more than good comments, because it's from the bad comments that I could further improve this. Okay, sure. Share it next time or through my email in a more private setting. I don't mind that. So as long as I can help. Okay, so please help me by leaving comments. Let me know. Email me how I can improve. If the connection is bad, let me know. If I don't speak too clearly, let me know. You can see my mic is here. I don't know if you can see my microphone. My mic is here. So if I speak too fast, let me know. Great. Please, socially affluences, please comment by email. Appreciate it. If it's too boring, let me know. If too little props, not enough text, not enough animation videos or examples, let me know. Okay. So again, I hope I have time to launch this next startup I have called Codora. I'm gonna have unlimited online courses for you to access. I'm gonna cover all aspects of being an entrepreneur, especially an online or a tech entrepreneur, from idea generation to business registration to development to building a website to marketing, digital marketing, email marketing, SEO, WhatsApp marketing. Yeah, that's one thing I'm going to touch as well. Design thinking, how to come up with ideas to solve problems. how to use design thinking process to solve your problems in business or in your product, how to draft an agreement, how to draft a partnership agreement, co-branding agreement, employment agreement, shareholders agreement, how to raise funds, how to do presentation, how to draft a business plan, how to find investors, how to growth hack without paying any money. And again, my killer factor, my killer feature of my startup is I'm going to teach you how to build, how to start, or how to run your website with the least cost possible. Least cost means it can be free or it can be very cheap. So I found a lot of ways. I started my startup with only $3,000. Okay, and the first year we actually already made profit from the $3,000. So we grew out all the way from there. So I am good in trying to build a business without money or with very little money, because money is very important for you to survive in your business. If you're thinking of starting a startup, if you're currently working, if possible, don't quit your first full-time job yet. Okay, start your startup in a part-time basis. There's no shame in doing that. Okay, as long as there's no conflict with your full-time job. A lot of entrepreneurs in the US are doing that. Okay, one of them, if you know, is FanDuel. Okay, FanDuel is the fantasy sports website. They build their website. They'll build their software on weekends. They couldn't afford to leave their full-time job. They need to survive. They have kids to pay, to feed, wife to feed. Okay, so Michael said, looking forward on how I can share or make my app viral on a very small budget. Okay, you're still working 9-to-5 job, right? Okay, so I guess you're building your app on a part-time basis on weekends. So you still have a job. Good. I'm not sure what's the business model for your app. I'm not sure what your app is about. So all I know is apps are not easy to make money. Nowadays, it's so difficult to make money from apps. I did a workshop, I did a seminar before. I asked people how much is the average income an app could make. A lot of people thought it's like $10,000 or more. In fact, that time was many years ago. The average income for an app is about $300. $300 a month or not, I forgot, but it's about $300 a month an app. So I don't know how your app is gonna make money, but if you wanna make it viral, depends on what your app is about. Okay, everything is there are ways to make things viral nowadays. There are ways that may work for certain product, certain business, not for every business. And really, I need to know in details what is your app what your app is about. Sharing, of course, you know, apps like, oh, there's this one really silly app, the bird app, which you need to press and it will jump up or something. I don't know whether you guys remember the app. It was launched like a few years back. 3D bird app, some kind of app, a game that it went viral. It was built by a Vietnamese guy. It was such a stupid app because the app was so stupid that it became viral. Okay, stupidity spreads. People like to spread stupidity, like Gangnam Style. So the app was so stupid that people share with their friends to tell them how stupid the app is. In fact, it was a very stupid app. Even the creator of the app, who was a Vietnamese guy, didn't realize that the app went viral because of its stupidity. So he did make some money from the app, of course, because the app was ad powered. I think it was business model was making money from advertisements. So that's one way to make an app viral. You know, Gangnam Style went viral because of its stupidity. You know, if you look at it initially, you ask people. You know, when I first saw Gangnam Style in Korea, my friend came and told me, Korean friend, Melvin, come, let me show you something. Let me show you something very silly, very stupid. So he showed me this Gangnam Style video of Psy, and she said, isn't that stupid? Isn't that silly? I said, yeah, it's very silly, very stupid. But my point is, she took the trouble to pull me all the way across that exhibition hall to an area to one booth where they were playing Gangnam Style's video. So you see my point here? People want to tell their friends about something that's stupid. So if your app is about something that is relatively stupid, or if it's like a game or what, yeah, make it as stupid as possible. But I'm pretty sure app is not a stupid app. It's not a silly app. So what I'm trying to say is, if you want to go viral, you have to find ways to go viral. Viral is just a way how you spread your app, but how you do it, that's the key. All right. So anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I'm 2 minutes past my time to stop. So again, I appreciate it, all of you guys, for being here. I hope to see you guys again. I really hope to get your comments. Okay, so that will decide whether they're gonna be a second round for this or not. All right, so again, good night. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Socially Affluencers, Dennis, Wong, Sanjay, of course. Who else? Chong, Dulara, Apple Tree, and another guy here. Where is it? He was Nightmare, something Nightmare. All right, a Sweet Nightmare 24. Okay, so that's it for now, guys. I'll send you guys the recorded version. All right, thank you and have a good night. Bye.